140 members of the U.S. House of Representatives sent a letter to the Department of Health and Human Services days ago in support of the Protect Life rule. This comes as we're now less than 2 weeks from the close of the public comment period for the pro-life guideline. In the letter addressed to HHS Secretary Alex Azar, the 140 members of Congress urged the department to finalize the proposed rule, which stops Title X family planning dollars from going to abortion groups like Planned Parenthood. If finalized, it will mean Planned Parenthood will lose up to $60 million of our tax dollars each year, their second largest source of tax funding. President Trump recently issued the Protect Life rule, but it must first undergo a 60-day public comment period. The deadline for the public to comment on the Protect Life rule is July 31st. We are joined now by Representative Ron Estes of Kansas, who led the congressional input on the Protect Life rule. Congressman, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this very important issue.
Absolutely. First off, can you tell our viewers exactly what the Protect Life rule would do if finalized?
Basically what it does is it restores the family planning rules and regulations back to the way they were when President Reagan was in office, rules that have been approved by approved by the Supreme Court. So what it does is it prohibits a physical or financial connection between an abortion clinic. It doesn't require family planning to refer for abortions. It makes sure that we use those monies for real family planning purposes. And it makes sure that as part of that, those facilities that are providing family planning services, that they make sure they report instances of sexual abuse or of human trafficking so that we can help protect those victims and those young girls.
And we are nearing the deadline for the public comment period. Congressman, what role do the public comments play in getting this Protect Life rule finalized?
Yeah, one of the things that they want as part of the process for getting the rules turned back to the way they should be is getting comments from the public. So we in Congress, there's 139 of us that signed a letter encouraging the Secretary to change those rules and make sure that move forward. We've got till July 31st. That's when the deadline is for Health and Human Services to receive public comments. I would encourage everybody out there to submit some rules, submit some comments, submit some thoughts on how important this is to make sure that we protect people. We use those family planning dollars for the intent that they had, which was actually helping people with their medical issues from a family planning standpoint.
Congressman, the letter sent to the HHS Department last week, signed by yourself and 139 other members of Congress, stated that the Protect Life rule increases Title X program accountability and oversight in cases of suspected sexual abuse of minors. Can you expand on that specific aspect?
That's right. There's a lot of instances, a lot of discussion out there. In fact, there's been some investigations done by Live Action, for example, that's actually documented cases in a multitude of states where actually the abortion provider has actually covered up instances of either sexual abuse or in some cases human trafficking. And what the rule would require is that all of these abortion providers actually follow the state law in which they operate, which isn't too burdensome. It's not adding new regulations. It's a piece that they should have been doing all along, is making sure that they were following the state law and reporting those instances of rape or incest or human trafficking.
Absolutely. Planned Parenthood is calling the Protect Life rule the gag rule. Congressman, I'd like for you to address Planned Parenthood's talking points on this because I know our viewers might face them as well. How do you respond when Planned Parenthood claims community health centers will not be able to fill the huge void if Planned Parenthood is blocked from the Title X program?
Well, I think that's quite a bit of misdirection there. Is the whole intent for the Health and Human Services family planning, the whole intent for Title X is making sure that we provide funding for actual real medical treatment, real family planning activities and funding. And so the funding's not being decreased at all. It's going to be available. It's going to be available for those legitimate operations that want to provide real medical family planning services. And that's just a bit of a misdirection to say that it's not, because total funding is going to continue.
Representative Ron Estes of Kansas, thank you for your leadership on this issue. We'll continue to update our viewers.
Thank you very much for talking about this very important issue.
Joining us now in studio is Marilyn Musgrave, a former U.S. representative for the state of Colorado and now the Vice President of Government Affairs for the Susan B. Anthony list. Welcome back to the studio.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
It's good to see you. First off, what is your reaction to what Congressman Estes just shared with us? I'm
so grateful that he's been willing to lead on life. He's done such a great job with this Title X regulation. He's pro-life through and through, and he's inspired other members to come alongside, and we're so grateful for his work.
One part of the Protect Life rule that the Congressman hit on is how it will increase accountability and oversight in cases of suspected sexual abuse of minors. What do we know about suspected sexual abuse of minors at abortion centers?
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm a mother of 2 daughters, and I have 7 granddaughters. Now think of where my heart is on that issue. And you know, recently I was at a press conference with Lila Rose from Live Action and one of my heroes in Congress, Vicki Hartzler from Missouri. What an incredible congresswoman she is. Laura Lederer was there. She's a legal expert and a senior advisor, former senior advisor to the State Department on human trafficking. And Laura Lederer, in her role with the State Department, found out that Planned Parenthood is the top destination for victims of trafficking, second only to hospital emergency rooms. So you think of a young girl that's been trafficked going in for an abortion with no questions asked. I mean, it's a situation that is fraught with all sorts of problems. So we are just, you know, along with 50 members of Congress at that press conference, we were asking Health and Human Services to investigate Planned Parenthood. Take a look at this. When it's about money, when it's about abortion and no questions asked, I think there's such potential for not reporting sexual abuse. And my heart goes out to young girls that I believe have probably been returned to their abuser.
And we are closing in on the public comment period now. The deadline is July 31st. What role does this public comment period play? Will the administration not finalize the rule based on comments?
Well, I believe they'll finalize the rule because it's a pro-life administration. We've seen so many good things come from this president. But the important thing is thinking about Planned Parenthood losing $50 to $60 million a year from Title X funding. Okay, do you think they're outraged at this rule? Do you think they're going to have much comment about this? Of course they are. And we pro-life Americans need to support this administration and comment about how grateful we are for this action from this administration. Let them know that we really do believe that you should separate abortion from family planning. And you know what I always think? If you don't do anything, you know there won't be a result. But we who are pro-life need to act out our pro-life beliefs and step up and do an easy thing, comment on how we feel about the Protect Life rule.
It's so simple. It goes a long way.
Yes.
Marilyn Musgrave, Vice President of Government Affairs for the Susan B. Anthony list. Thank you.
Thank you.